I wasn't surprised about the arrest in the case, but I was surprised that there was a Vegas connection.
Police in Las Vegas are looking to see whether the accused Long Island serial killer is connected to cold cases in Sin City.
This is a cold case investigation 101, right?
A new report claims Rex Heuermann's DNA will be examined in the case of a mom from New Jersey who was murdered in Las Vegas.
The fact that they've asked for a comparison means that there may be something to compare for him, or there may be a reason to eliminate him.
Thanks for joining us here on Law and Crime. I'm Angenette Levy. Rex Heuermann currently faces murder charges in the deaths of 3 women found on Gilgo Beach. He's pleaded not guilty to the murders of Amber Costello, Melissa Barthelemy, and Megan Waterman. While Heuermann lived on Long Island for decades, he also had timeshares in Las Vegas. Police searched that property after Heuermann's arrest last month. News 12 on Long Island is reporting that Heuermann's DNA will be examined in the murder of Victoria Camara. 20 years ago, a gravel truck driver found Camara's body in the desert in Boulder City, about 30 minutes outside of Las Vegas. Camara was originally from New Jersey. Relatives said she turned to prostitution to make a living after having a child at age 17. Camara was strangled, and so were the Gilgo Four. Retired Las Vegas Metro Police cold case detective Phil Ramos was looking at similarities between Gilgo Beach and Vegas cases before he recently retired.
I wasn't surprised about the arrest in the case, but I was surprised that there was a Vegas connection. That's clear across the country, and we don't often have similarities with that kind of distance. There are a number of active serial killers working right now as we speak, and they could be working any series of states, cities, counties, jurisdictions, but to have one that far away in New York, that did surprise me. Yeah.
Ramos didn't work Victoria Camara's case, but he did work the cases of 3 other sex workers that were similar to the Gilgo Beach murders.
3 that I worked are of particular interest that may have some similarities to Gilgo. And that's not to say that it's the same suspect or anything like that. They just have some general similar characteristics in that they were, the victimology profile is the same. They were young sex workers. They were murdered and they were left on the side of a road, which is kind of generic similarities because that's 90% of our sex workers that get killed end up on the side of the road out here. It's just out here in Vegas, we have thousands of square miles of desert, and sometimes it takes a long time to find their bodies.
So in Ramos's opinion, how significant is it that Las Vegas Metro Police are comparing Rex Heuermann's DNA to evidence in Camara's murder?
The fact that they've asked for a comparison means that there may be something to compare for him, or there may be a reason to eliminate him. It might be close enough in similarity that they're saying, this could be him. We need to see if it is or if it isn't. And that tells me that the reason they're asking for DNA is for that very purpose. There's DNA that they found out here. Is it close enough of a match with the characteristics to Gilgo Beach to warrant that examination? I would say there's probably something there to it. I can't say specifically what it is because I'm not the one that's working that case or the follow-up on it, but there very well may be something to it, and it may be a connection or it may be an elimination result.
I contacted Las Vegas Metro for a comment. A spokesperson issued a brief statement. We are aware of Rex Heuermann's connection to Las Vegas. We are currently reviewing our unsolved cases to see if he has any involvement.
This is a cold case investigation 101, right? So you look for cases, or we refer to as companion cases, that could be connected to yours.
Retired NYPD homicide detective Joe Giacalone has been following the Long Island serial killer case closely for years.
Right? Each one of those cases could hold a piece or a piece of evidence or some other information that can help you solve a whole variety of crimes. So this is the right move by police departments. I'm a little upset that it takes the news media to go out there and uncover this and say to the police department, hey, here are these 4 or 5 cases that are kind of similar in your jurisdiction. Why don't you take a closer look?
Giacalone says cold cases are sometimes pushed to the back burner for lack of evidence or for other reasons.
I've said this all along, that the police executive, whoever's in charge, is the one that dictates how cold cases get handled. And unfortunately, old homicide cases, old missing persons, even old rape cases kind of get pushed to the side for things that are happening in the now that police chiefs are being basically questioned on, your robberies, your grand larcenies. And these old homicides take up a lot of time and effort, and then they get kind of pushed to the side because when the chief has to stand up and say crime is up or crime is down in his or her community, they're not talking so much about the homicides. They're talking about all the robbery, the street robberies, the street crimes. Those are the things that people are really concerned about. And unfortunately, that's kind of pushes these things that way.
Giacalone says there are obvious similarities between the Gilgo Four and some of the victims in Las Vegas. A Las Vegas TV station reports that the bodies of 5 sex workers were found dumped off of the side of roadways between 2003 and 2006, and that they were wrapped in cloth, much like the Gilgo Four. Channel 13 reports that Heuermann had timeshares in Vegas dating back to 2004.
In policing, we look at 2 similarities as a pattern. So unfortunately, I know people are saying, well, these girls were asphyxiated or strangled. And unfortunately, in a lot of these homicides that you deal with victims in the sex trade, this is the type of manner of death and cause of death that you deal with. It's homicide strangulation or homicide asphyxia. And that's the way it goes because it's about that power. It's about that, watching somebody die. And it's just unfortunate. That's the way it goes.
Rex Heuermann remains behind bars in Suffolk County, where he's being held without bail. He has denied any involvement in the Gilgo Beach murders. For Law and Crime, I'm Angenette Levy.